What's up, guys? On this episode of Hotel Ford, we're getting into some projects for Mom. We got the Mother's Day coming up, you know what I mean? We need to finish on some projects that we were gonna do months ago, just in time. She got this cute little rocking horse off the side of the road because his foot was broke off. So I just cut a piece of wood down there that's big enough to copy the other side there and got a trace out. Whoop. So that's the first thing we'll do. We'll get that all cut up and then replace the broken side on the little rocking horse. And then Mom's really excited to get it back, and then she can paint it up and get it ready for her to use it. She's working on doing the foster mom for the babies, you know. And anyway, after that, we're gonna play with some welding. I don't even remember if you guys have seen this guy before, but I got my dad's old welder and I've been practicing. See Pure Later Turbo Man over here. And then I've got the swan looking guy welded together over here for the old lady. We could actually finish that thing today probably, because I'd like to make something similar for my mom, but she's got chickens, so I need to make a metal chicken. You know what I mean? And it'd be cool to get this thing all painted up. Ooh. All right, look at my smile. I sawzalled out my smile. Now we just got to get the palm sander down here, see if we can't clean up some of these edges and probably take the router to them sharp corners. Yeah. Before the sand and after sanding. Lots and lots and lots of sanding. It's still a little ugly and wavy, but it'll definitely rock. Like I got this one spot here where I went too far back with the skill saw, but it's sanded off pretty nice, and I'm hoping, see the little boards? I'm hoping the little board will just sit right on top of it. That'd be perfect. It's not professional furniture maker, but it could be a lot worse. It sanded up pretty swell. Oh boys, look at it. We painstakingly got the old painted in screws removed off of the other, whatever that is, the rocker. Only 2 of them broke off. Drove those out with a hammer. Anyway, look at my little rocker. Ooh. Oh yeah. Now we just gotta screw that thing back into there, and Mom can have her free off the side of the road rocking horseback. Oh yeah, we did it, boys. The rocking horse does the rocking once more. Look at him go. Alright, now that it's rocking by itself, it's really creepy. Anyway, now we can clean up our mess from playing with the wood. You quit. And then we can get into cleaning up some of my shop mess, because I want to play welder time. Yeah. Whoo! It's a big job cleaning up my shop, I want you to know. But we're making progress. Did you know there's a washer and dryer over here? Woo! Yup. Mirror to a Crown... Wait, what does that go to? A Lincoln Town Car, much newer than one we own? Yeah. Oh, there's that lawn tractor I need to get to working on. Oh boy. The next thing I'll try to do is move enough stuff around to get that out of here, and then take this other stuff and consolidate it back over there and Tetris it up a little bit and make it a nice working space. And then we'll build a chicken. Whew. We getting there, boys. We getting there. Time to air up the tires and all the toys. Oh, just a couple more things. Just gotta scooch a few more things 2 inches to the left, and we'll have our feng shui. All right, I got all my stuff rearranged. Played a big game of Tetris. Got the four-wheeler up here at the front, unfortunately, even though that's the project I'd like to be working on next. But the old John Deere lawn tractor is the project I need to work on next. We gotta get a better lawn mower situation going than the old MTD. Anyway, that's future Hotel Fort Ethan's problem. Right now we got her all cleaned up, feng shuied out, where we have a little bit of room to play arts and crafts welder time. Now I got this little hooky doodab over here because I think if I angled him right, the eyelet part would make a good little tiny, what are they called, a chick head? Not quite a chicken, but a chick. And then we can make like that the body and put some legs down here or something. It's got this rubberized coating all over it, so I'm gonna try to grind that away, and then we'll play with some of my different metallic bits and see if we can't make a baby chicken, and then maybe try to make a larger chicken after that. Our little chicken has legs. Now I've got this little bitty piece here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Now I've got this little bitty piece here we're going to put right under the chicken's butt to tie those legs together better, because I want to put like little feetsies up higher so you can use the lower section of the leg to stick the little chicken in the ground and have him stand up. Yeah. Look at my little birdie feet. Little chick feet. My welds are atrocious, but this is how you get better. You gotta practice. You gotta make goofball things, and then when you repair important things, they might not explode apart. Yeah, we should make a beak, eh, boys? All right, boys, we're making a little progress. We're making art. Isn't it cute? It's the cutest art. Now we gotta do like a little something off his head, probably, and then do the little tail feather things. Probably put some wings on him. I have these camber adjuster guys. We might be able to give him some flappers. You know? All right, boys. That is pretty much a baby chicken right there. See, I got more brake parts back here. Those are the clips that go in with your brake pads and whatnot. Except now they're baby chicken tail. Ooh, with his little top hat. Ooh. Now we just need to clean all this up and give this thing a solid coat of, I guess, like the primer paint, and then we'll figure out if we want to make different things different colors or so. I don't know. I'm new to being an artist. We'll figure it out. All right, here's our cleaned up little guy. Now it's time to paint him up. Ooh, isn't it cute? Oh, the little tail and the little top hat and his nut eyes. Anyway, time to paint my cock. All right, boys, that is our first little chicken project complete. Like I told y'all earlier, these all the projects in this particular video are for going out to Mom's house. Look at him. So I got my baby chick done. Tonight or tomorrow we'll start welding together a larger chicken. And then these two will look so cute next to each other. I guess the bigger bird will have to have a black top hat too. We've already made it that far. Here he is, all finished up. Ooh. Little chicken. Sculpture guy with a top hat. That was my idea of him being able to stand in the ground. Look at him go. All right. Now we get to go paint the bird I made for Missy a long time ago. Got my other swan-looking birdie thing I made for the old lady a while ago. Got it in here in the vise, and now we just got to clean all the rusties off of it, and then we'll paint it whatever color swans are. Yeah. Got them all primered out. Sanded on them for quite a while. This one was pretty rusty, much like outside metal art do. Ooh, he's all gray now with the good Rust-Oleum primer. Now we just got to figure out what colors to paint it. It's got to be pretty and bright and colorful and awesome, you know, out in the old lady's flower bed. So, here's what I came up with for the color scheme. Because apparently the cranes are white with like black looking legs, and they got like black faces with a little red spot on their head. So, you know, pretty much. From a distance, it looks like a crane. And it's shiny with the clear coat. Look at my rusty shovel shine. Woo! Now after this thing gets all cured up, it's ready to go back out in the yard. Finally finished. We're finishing a few things here. And then we'll get to playing with welding together a bigger chicken. Maybe out of a shovel too. You're so cute, Merp. Merp. Does it look like a big chicken yet? What if you... What about now? Alright, moving forward with our chicken build. Look at my cool new welding stuff. Ooh, I got the magnets, boys. This one's adjustable. Welder? Yes, welder. Cheap Amazon stuff, but it seems to be durable enough and the magnets are strong. I'm happy with it. I never thought I could afford fancy welding stuff. Anyway, this is my chicken leg. Right? So I'm going to stick one this way and probably stick one that way, and you know, and then we'll put another part of the chicken on. Well, would you look at that? I think we got legs welded to our chicken. And he's upside down. That's what I am currently calling my welding looks like right now. Yeah. I'll tell you what, well, let me turn the light on. Turn the light on. I tell you what, there is absolutely nothing pretty about it. But she'll hold. Yeah. They're not nice welds. I wouldn't be showing them off to anyone except you guys. But you know they're not going to fall off anyway. Oh. we are beginning to have the setup for Hotel Ford Fab Shop. See, I got the weldy guy and the chop saw on top of him, and I got my little grinder over here. And then I've got the battery operated digital grinders here. Got the Craftsman with the grinding wheel and the DeWalt with the cutting wheel. Because they're at the end of my daddy's fence business, he started buying all different types of brands of tools. Why not? You know, I'll keep the batteries charged and use on them. Anyway, you see my chicken feet? You see what I'm going for? You see how it's all flat? That way it can support the chicken. See right here, we got 1 foot and then one little toe off the other foot. Then we got to make the straight and this way. And I am just in awe and really satisfied with my little metal fab setup, because I was able to take my stick over to the grinder there. Ooh, and you know, take the edges off and give them the pointy edge. And then I was able to take the grinder disc on the Craftsman there and come up here and chamfer. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Whoop, if it'll focus. Hold on. Too many things at once. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much chicken feet. Flat chicken feet. Boys, we found a head for the chicken. We old barbed wire holder outer guy. Oh my. Chicken head. Ho ho. He's got eyes now. Next, we're over here making a beak out of the other end of the barbed wire holder. Oh, fellers. Check out my chicken rooster face. See his little thing I made for the top of his head there. Got the beak onto him. Cute little tail things. I believe I have more of these. Those are tinct steaks. I think I got more of them around so we could have a couple coming off different ways, looking all cool and whimsical. And now I'm working on making some wings out of this, whatever you call that. This, oh yeah, it's chicken wire. Anyway, doing chicken conception with the wire here, and as it turns out, trying to weld this really thin gauge metal wire here is just about as hard as trying to grow wings on myself. So that's going smoothly, but you know, it's on there right now, a little bit, you know. We just have to keep tackying along, and then trim this and fold it back, or do, you know, with something. We gotta do something with that. Metal chicken. Well, I quit the other chicken wire that I had there in favor of this thicker gauge, larger square stuff. It was a little easier to get it mounted to the body without melting it. Still melted it a little bit, but it actually like mounts to the body now. Ooh, look, he's got wings. Those wings are going to be fragile, and I'm sure this guy will fall over at some point, so I want to do some little standoff things or something, you know, reinforce his edges. That way he can tip over and maybe not break a wing off. But oh boys, our little chicken's coming along. He's almost a completed metal rooster. I've decided he's a rooster because of his head bit up here. Alright. Now I've got his little standoffs to hold his wings out for when he inevitably gets knocked over by the dogs going to Mom's house, you know. Now, I think I'm gonna cut the chicken's butt off and glue it to his front. And then his body will have a little more rounded shape. And make his neck look more filled in. Got his butt chopped off to transplant to the front up there. Ooh, yup. And then I noticed this. Another piece of heavy-duty commercial chain link hardware. And I've been thinking I wanted to seal both ends of this square tube, because that'd be an awful nice place for the wasp nest to hang out and be hard to spray. So I wanted to cap this off, and then I saw this thing here, and I was like, oh man, we need to cut this on this side and give him a little curly tail, and then we can mount more curly tails to that curly tail. Yep, it's gotta be done. Oh boys, what do you think? We got more tail feathers, and we're getting all sorts of welding practice. We're still terrible at it, but we're getting all sorts of practice. And these silly little art projects, for all you guys that are like me that don't have a clue how to stick metal together, these are really, really good for all different type of weird situations. Like with the wings here, attaching thinner gauge to thicker gauge. I needed it to be hot enough to glue into the thick gauge, but I needed to go fast enough to not melt the thin gauge wire. That's also why I stepped up to the thicker wire. I was having a hard time. But you know what I mean? Over here I'm getting my first little practice at you know, closing a pipe up, trying to seal the end of something. That'll probably come in handy when we do our first roll cage. It almost looks a little bit like a roll cage mount if it was round, you know? Yeah. But there are lots and lots of weird little situations, stuff like these things, trying to make a weld strong enough that it can support a funny dangly thing that wobbles around all from one end. You know, just lots and lots of weird little situations. Eh? See down here, we almost have the butt end of them all sealed off, but we got to do something about those 3 holes there if we're going to keep wasp nest out of the chicken body. But for the most part, we pretty much got the tail end of her done now. Yeah, that looks like a chicken rooster tail back there, pretty much. I think next we'll move back to the front end. Yeah, oh, he's cool. That's pretty fun. My chicken. Oh, fellers. We are slowly but surely Learning how to seam weld and whatnot. Woo! This will be an exhaust system under one of the rigs one of these days, you know. See down here I had like terrible fitment right up in there, so I had a big gap, and that's my first ever experience trying to fill in a big gap between the metals. See, there's an exhaust leak in it, but you know, it's smaller than it was. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. See over here on the bottom and on this side I grounded it down, and we only have a handful of exhaust leaks. Woo! Doesn't matter, we don't need to fill them in on here because, again, we're just keeping the wasp out. But really good progress really good practice for all the exhaust systems I want to weld up in here in the future. Oh, fellers, we are turning into fabricating artistes. You know how we just welded up that square tube down there? I think this thing used to be a license plate bracket, but it's even thinner than the square tube. Yeah. It's like he's got a collar on. And now we're gonna find out if we can sheet metal fabricate. You know? Something, you know? Whoop, watch the welder. Oh, fellers. That's really cool. That's really beginning to look like chicken body. Whoa, he's not a hollow tube no more after that. If we can weld that to it without just turning that sheet metal into a puddle on the floor. Oh, boys. Ticky-tacking on the sheet metal is hard. You know? But that's what the practice is all about. See, we're starting to kind of get it on this side. Still melted a hole in it, but we're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. That's how you learn how to weld all the different things. You burn a hole in them. All right. Well, we near about have a little chicken rooster guy. My sheet metal welds. Oh boy. Oh boys, they're so bad. They're so bad. But the little thin sheet metal pieces are in here though. Would you look at that? I love the eerie noises that he makes. You know what I mean? Anyway, as bad as that looks, I think it's going to be really neat to come back years down the road after I do know how to weld sheet metal and see my, what do you call him? See my booger ball neck. See my chicken neck held together with boogers. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool years down the road when we actually know how to weld. Some of them turned out pretty good. That thin stuff is just hard. But anyway, I think we are about to a stopping point here. I don't know if he's done yet, but it's probably about time to wrap this video up. And in doing that, I can give y'all a chance to leave a comment if you have any suggestions for what else we should put on the chicken guy. We still got a week or two for Mother's Day, so I got a little more time to make modifications before we clean him up real nice and paint him to look like a rooster. I think he's going to end up being like one of those red feathered roosters with the blue tails. That'll probably look really neat. Anyway, thanks for watching. Buckcock. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys would do to the metal chicken next. One more thing. If your suggestion was adorable librarian lady glasses, I am sorry. It is too late. That was a wonderful suggestion, though. I'm glad you thought of it. Thank you for watching. We're so weird around here.